Okay, so in this video we're looking at algebra again. We've been doing algebra for a couple of weeks now. This time we're looking at algebra involving fractions. And there's going to be a whole bunch of different questions here involving fractions. Some of them are going to be really simple. I'm going to show you some simple ways to do that. Bear in mind you'll be using a calculator whenever you do these questions. So that's going to make it easier again. Let's go through a couple so you can see how they would work. Okay, so let's try this one. 2x minus a half equals 1/4. Now, at first glance, you might be looking at this one and thinking, "Ooh, that looks really difficult. There's fractions everywhere." 2x minus 1/2 equals 1/4. Now, essentially, it's the same question as 2x minus 5 equals, say, 12. Now, I'll do both of these questions in tandem so you can see why I'm saying that they're exactly the same. Now, if you're going to solve a question like this, the first step would be to move that -5 from this side to that side. So it's going to be 2x equals 12. The -5 becomes +5. Okay. Now, in this question, we're going to do the same thing. We've got this fraction here that's just a constant. Oh, sorry, that keeps popping up. We've got this fraction here that's just a constant. So we can move that as well. So it's going to be 2x equals 1/4. And then when we move that half, it's going to go from being -1/2 to +1/2. Okay, so on this side, it says 2x equals 12 plus 5. That's 2x equals 12 plus 5, which is 17. Now, you can type that into your calculator to get that answer. And on this side, you can do the same thing. If you type 1/4 plus 1/2 into your scientific calculator, you should get an answer of 3/4. Okay. Now the next step here is to get rid of this 2 next to the x. So on this side, you can see that I'm doing 2x divided by 2 equals 17 divided by 2. Now on this side, now this looks really complicated, but luckily we've got our calculator to help us out. Now I'm going to divide it by 2 again. And that's going to be 3/4 divided by 1/2. 3/4 divided by 1/2. Now, if you wanted to, you could write that as 3/4 divided by 1/2. You know I'm not a fan of the divide by sign, but in this sense, when you're stacking fractions the way I just did, it might make sense to do that. Okay, so you type this into your calculator, 17/2. That'll give you a decimal of 8.5, or we could just leave it as 17/2 as our answer. Both of those answers would be acceptable. Now here, if you put this into your calculator, 3/4 divided by 1/2, divided by 2, that's going to be, and now that'll give you an answer of either 3/8 or 0.375. Both of those answers would be acceptable here, although because this question had fractions in it to begin with, it probably makes more sense to give your answer as a fraction. Okay, I've tried to explain this in a very particular way, and I hope you've understood what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to show you that this two-step equation, 2x minus 5 equals 12, is identical to this two-step equation, 2x minus 1/2 equals 1/4. Don't be scared of these fractions. Just use them as if they're whole numbers, like I've been doing over here, and you should end up getting the same or the correct answer. Now, while we're making this video, I might just show you one more question that I think it's really important that you guys have, you're on top. And that's this question here. X divided by 3 plus 7 equals 4. Now, this is a standard two-step equation. Now, it's very similar to this kind of equation here. So the first step, you've got x over 3 plus 7. The first step is to move this plus 7 over so our x term is by itself. So I'll move that plus 7 over there. That gives us x over 3 equals 4 minus 7. Now you can type that into your calculator. 4 minus 7 is minus 3. Now this is the last step. If this is x divided by 3, and we need to get x by itself, we need to get rid of the divide by 3. And the opposite of divide by 3 is times by 3. So we times both sides by 3. Now they cancel out, and you're left with an x on the left-hand side, and negative 3 times 3 gives us negative 9. Okay, so I think that this is a question that you guys should be on top of here, but I just wanted to draw it to your attention so you can try a couple out. Now I was going to show you one more thing here with some fractions. I think I'll save it for another video. That's probably enough in this video. In the next one we'll look at some just one thing that you may not have seen before that might confuse you a little bit.